Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Siva and thank you for joining us on this webinar. I just want to check that everyone can hear me. So would you just post on the chat to let me know that you can actually hear what I'm saying? Hello everyone. Okay, brilliant. We're very excited to meet you all really soon at National Healthcare Weekend, which is obviously coming up for some people next week and for others the week after. As I said before, my name's Dr. Siva and I'm president of this amazing organisation that is Medic Mentor, and National Weekend is really, really great fun because it's the first time that you'll get a chance to find out about Medic Mentor and what it can really do for you. And it's always really exciting for us as mentors to have the opportunity to explain it to you all, because it has been such an incredible support for not just ourselves, but for a lot of our aspiring students who go on to do really, really well. So yeah, we are really super excited to see you all. Just before I properly start this webinar, I'd like you to take a moment to log into the live chat, which is along the side of the window here. It might also be useful for you to grab a pen and paper and maybe a cup of tea, because I anticipate that this will take about half an hour to 45 minutes, including questions. So whilst you're getting all of your things together, I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to everybody. I hope you've had a wonderful day for all those mums out there, and it was actually my first Mother's Day today, so I've had a wonderful day too. It's a very, very important day, so I hope you've spent it well. So now that you've got your bits together, and I can just check to see whether we've got people logging on. No, not yet, but it's quite easy to log on to the live chat, and Dr. Kennedy is also available to answer questions as we go through the talk, but I will also go through the chat at the end just to pick up any questions that any of you have. So what is Medic Mentor? Well, it is the UK's national mentoring organisation for aspiring current healthcare students, as well as healthcare professionals themselves. And our organisation consists of doctors, vets, dentists and psychologists primarily. And the great thing about Medic Mentor is that it will essentially provide you with support through mentoring initiatives from the very outset, where you're at secondary school and you're trying to figure out what it is that you want to do in the future in terms of potentially becoming a doctor or a vet or a dentist, right the way through university, through the forms through the scholarship programs that we've got running, and then when you graduate you can get involved in the mentor development program and become a mentor. So really it is an incredible organisation that just, you know, supports you for the rest of your life, and it's really important to have mentors that you can speak to, because you are making such a big decision at you know, at a very junior stage. If you ask any sort of healthcare professional, a lot of them will tell you that deciding or making that decision to become a doctor or a dentist or a vet is right up there in the sort of top 5 life choices that you have, maybe second only to, you know, who you're going to marry, or, you know, buying a house, having children, that sort of thing, because it's not just a job, it's not just a profession, it is really a vocation. It's, you know, it's a lifestyle, it's something that engrosses a lot of various different aspects of your life. So it is a really, really big decision, and one that we encourage you to carefully make. But that is why, you know, we make sure that you do have access to a variety of mentors, so that you get to benefit from the experiences of multiple people. So that is what Medic Mentor is, and we hope to see you again and again at events, through programs that we run, like leadership programs, through webinars, and through a lot of the free mentoring initiatives that we have. For example, I do quite a lot of school visits as president of Medic Mentor. On Monday, I'm actually going to Upton Court Grammar School to visit our students there. And I'm sure that we'll come across each other even after National Weekend, sort of moving forward, and you'll come to get to know us very, very well indeed. So that's a little bit about Medic Mentor. You'll find out a lot more when you're actually at National Weekend. And just to go into a little bit of the organisational and practical side of National Weekend, everyone should have received an email from the admin team just now. This was timed to make sure that you all know that you've got the email, because as we've learned with emails, they can sometimes land in the junk folder and so on. So please use this as an opportunity to double check to see whether you have actually received anything from us. And if you haven't, do check your junk folders. And if there's nothing there, please just drop our admin team an email, which is just admin@medicmentor.org. And usually if we just reply to that, we're winning. So do take a look to check whether you've had any correspondence from us. And we don't issue tickets, so you don't need to worry about getting things in the post. Again, we've had problems with people losing their tickets, especially when they've registered to come along well in advance. So we don't issue tickets. All you have to do is bring a copy of your registration receipt with you, which you will have got via email when you initially registered. And for those of you who have pre-ordered books as well, and these should only be the aspiring medics who are thinking of coming along to the UCAS lecture, which is day 2, you will receive your book bundle on the second day of National Healthcare Weekend at the UCAS lecture when you register. So again, don't expect those to come through to you in the post. They are there to accompany the talks on the second day, so you'll get them on the day. Prior to National Weekend, make sure that you have created a Medic Mentor account. This is absolutely the most important thing, because without creating an account, we won't be able to keep you in the loop with all of the volunteering, leadership, competitions, all these amazing opportunities that Medic Mentor offer you throughout the year. And we also have a fantastic seminar series, which is kind of like our long distance learning program for you guys. And we email out the monthly seminar study guides to everyone who's signed up for an account, and you'll get a monthly newsletter so you can stay in the loop with what everyone else is doing. So if you haven't created an account, you might miss out on some valuable information. So please make sure that you do, so that you do that. And if you are a parent-student team, feel free to create a parent account and a student account, and that way your chances of staying on top of everything are at its best. So definitely create an account before you get to National Weekend. Some of you have also wanted to sign up to the Medic Mentor magazine, which is brilliant, but apparently haven't actually got around to doing it properly. So if that was you and you were very keen on signing up for a proper membership to Medic Mentor and to receive the Mentor magazine on a quarterly basis, again, you can go back to the Medic Mentor website, click on the books tab along the top, and that should give you more information about the Mentor magazine, and you can subscribe to it if you want to. So just to recap, what is National Healthcare Weekend? Well, it's made up of 2 days. The first day consists of the Insight conferences, and there will be dedicated conferences for dentistry, medicine, veterinary medicine, and psychology. During these conferences, you'll get a really good overview of that specialty. And the purpose of it really is to develop something called insight into that specialty. And this is something that you will be assessed on during the application process, in your personal statements, and even at interview. And really the purpose is to, and really it's because the admissions tutors want to know just how much what you're getting yourself in for. So insight is really is a very, very important element of UCAS application. So that's something that the first day will address. It's particularly good for students who are also not 100% sure if this is what they want to do. It's ideal for students in years 10, 11 and 12, or if you're in Scotland, sort of 3rd year, 4th year or 5th year. You'll get a chance to hear from several different mentors working within the discipline that you're interested in. And it's there to help you make a decision, really, an informed decision about whether this is really for you or not. It will give you a chance to meet other students who are thinking about pursuing that particular career, and you get a chance to meet healthcare professionals, and you'll sort of get a feel for whether these are your kind of people, whether you can see yourself doing the sorts of jobs that the presenters are talking about. And the second day goes into more detail about the actual UCAS application process itself for that specialty that you're interested in. For example, if you are an aspiring doctor, you'll get a chance to actually attend the UCAS Making It into Medicine lecture on the second day, where you'll be absolutely, overwhelmed with the amount of information that you get out of it. It's one of the most comprehensive UCAS talks that there is, and there are a lot of people who try to skip this bit, but actually it's so important. And the whole purpose of the weekend is to make sure that you are fully equipped to make this application journey, and you've got a really strong knowledge base and a good foundation to build upon moving forward with all of your extracurriculars and your work experience and things like that. And really, the amount of clarity that you get from attending the UCAS lecture is incredibly useful, and it will save you so much time because it just simplifies some very complex terms and concepts that you need to be aware of. Things like, the difference between problem-based learning and versus traditional courses, and competition ratios and things like that. And it also gives you a chance to meet and talk to some really honest medical students and doctors. So, make sure that you make the most of the chance to actually speak to those people who are, they're there to help you, basically. So that's the difference between the first day and the second day. The second day is particularly good for students who know that this is what they want to do. So if you're still deciding or debating between medicine or dentistry, for example, it might be best to just attend the first day and then come back and do the second day later when you're sure. Because there are some differences between medical and dentistry applications in terms of the UCAS process. So, you want to make sure that you're going to the right UCAS lecture for the course that you want to apply for. So the aim of National Weekend is to make sure that you're fully equipped with the right knowledge moving forward, and to highlight what sort of skills, work experience, extracurricular activities, and the sorts of things that will help you to really stand out as an applicant. usually students and parents leave National Weekend feeling, pretty enthused by what they've learnt. A lot of the parents, especially that I've spoken to in the past, are just, they're really grateful to be involved in the whole process. And parents aren't given much of an opportunity to really learn about these sorts of things, whereas at least students get some exposure to it at school. But even then, I mean, you'll definitely learn a lot by coming along because of the sheer comprehensiveness, if you like, of the courses that take place, and the experience that the mentors have. So what actually happens on the day? Well, there'll be registration initially, which starts at 10. And that's when you'll sign in, and you'll be directed to the correct lecture theatre, where you can find yourself a good seat. So it's a good idea to arrive early. For many of you, this might be the first time that you've ever been on a university campus, which can be confusing. Even for me, I find it confusing sometimes. So make sure that you've had a look at the campus map that you will get a copy of from the admin team closer to the time. And, make sure you know where you're going to park and things like that. Luckily, we've got some really good venues, so you shouldn't have any issues in terms of parking. For those of you who are going to Stirling University, there's plenty of parking, and the majority of people going to London will be travelling by tube anyway, and the Stratford tube station is very close to the University of East London. It's walking distance, so it is very easy to get to the venues. So please don't worry too much about it, and please don't panic. If you are running late, that's fine. Just come when you can, and please try and be safe. Don't try and rush to get there. You might only miss the introductory lecture, so just come along and we'll sneak you into the back of the conference if we have to. And please remember to bring a packed lunch, because food won't be served during the day. This is in an attempt to keep the cost for your tickets down to a reasonable amount. So I would strongly advise that you do bring some food with you. The benefit of doing that as well is that you get more time to actually spend talking to the mentors and networking. So the lunch breaks, and in fact the other breaks during the day, are really valuable moments for you to actually ask any sort of questions that affect you personally, whether it's about grades or which subjects you're choosing. So if you do bring a packed lunch, you're not having to waste time running out to get food, at Sainsbury's around the corner. So make sure that, you maximize as much time that you can during the day, and really, really, try and speak to as many people as you can. So here are my top tips to get the most out of National Healthcare Weekend. Try and network with as many people as possible. Unfortunately, this can be quite a difficult thing, especially when you're, year 10 student or an S3 student, trying to going up to a medical student or even a consultant can be quite intimidating. But I can reassure you that our mentors are really, really lovely, and they want to speak to you. They want to speak to everyone. They are really enthusiastic about teaching you, and they are so excited to meet you all. So please, please do try and speak to as many people as you can. And remember to speak to other students as well, and speak to other parents, because you're actually on this journey together, and your medic mentor students, not all students who are applying are. So, you'll have a lot in common just from that. And you'll probably see one another again and again at other events, at masterclasses. Maybe if you're both elected as school ambassadors, you might see one another on the leadership programs. You'll come across each other when you're watching webinars, on the live chat, and so on. So there'll be lots of times when you come across one another, and it helps to, when you know some people, it just makes the whole process more fun. You are not in competition with other mentor students. A lot of our students do really, really well and actually succeed together. So, you know, do make the most of the students that you meet at the conferences. Feel free to exchange numbers, you know, swap WhatsApp, or set up WhatsApp groups, or, you know, engage on social media and things like that. It's very normal for our students to do that. And one of the downsides is I suppose I'm just thinking back to an email that I received from a parent from the last national weekend. And it was a mum who was telling me about her daughter who, and it wasn't exactly a complaint as such, but she did sort of express her concern that, you know, her daughter was there at the conference, but the vet students didn't go up and speak to her. But I suppose it's really important, and that's a real shame, because they would have loved to have, you know, had a chance to speak to her. They are wonderful scholars and wonderful students. But, you know, these conferences are large, and the scholars will, you know, are very, very open to questions, but you do have to make the effort to go up to them and speak to them and have the confidence to do so. And in fact, just by doing that, you will become more confident in yourself speaking to healthcare professionals. And then when it comes to your interviews, you'll be a pro. So, you know, you really have to sort of get over that barrier and go, you know, try and make as many friends as you can at the conference. And in fact, you know, speak to as many mentors as you can as well, and introduce yourself. Even if you don't have a question, just introduce yourself, and you know, have a chat about what you've learned today, and what sort of things you'd like to get involved in future. That sort of thing is absolutely fine. It's just about, you know, making friends and meeting mentors and starting to build your mentoring relationships and your mentoring network for yourself. So the other thing I would suggest is that you have a think about the sorts of questions that you want answered at National Weekend. This is your chance, and you've got this one weekend where you can ask as many questions as you can. So make a list of all the questions that you want answered, or any doubts that you have about the career in general, or any concerns you have about the career that you're thinking of. And also in relation to the application process, there might be terms that you don't understand, or you have specific questions about the entrance exams, for example, or anything at all. So make a list and bring it along with you, just to make sure that, you know, you have actually cleared all of your doubts. Take a look at your CV before you come along to National Weekend, especially if you're coming along to the second day, where we will be doing an interactive CV building task with you. It's a good idea for you to have a look at what you've done so far, so that when we do tell you about all these amazing opportunities that will come your way through the year, you will be able to take notes of things that you probably feel like maybe you need to work more on. So, for example, if you go through your CV and you realize, well, actually, I don't have a lot under leadership, you might want to take note of some of our leadership opportunities, which we'll be mentioning at the Insight Conference. So have a look at your CV and bring a pen and paper with you and take notes of opportunities, because you'll have loads of information in the books are absolutely fantastic, and they're very comprehensive, and they cover a lot, so you almost don't even need to take notes. But you know, do take notes of the sorts of things you want to apply to moving forward from the conference. Also have a think about which universities you might want to apply to, because there might be scholars from those universities there. So, you know, if that's the case, you might even have an opportunity to ask people about the course. So just have a think about that. And before you come to National Weekend, make sure you browse all of the opportunities that we have available to you on the mentoring tab. This is really important, so that you have a basic understanding of the sort of programs and opportunities that Medic Mentor offer. And if you have any specific doubts or specific questions, you can ask the Vice President, you can ask myself, and you can ask some of the scholars there. By the way, the scholars are university students. So these are university students who have been awarded scholarships by Medic Mentor. So you can, and they're very, very helpful. So, you know, you can ask them if you've got any questions about, you know, the mentoring side of things. And finally, we will be very active on social media around National Weekend. So please make sure that you like us on Facebook, you like us on Twitter, as well as all the other social media platforms, especially because if there are any last minute room changes or anything like that, we will be posting them on Facebook and on Twitter first, as well as sending out emails to everybody. So please make sure that you've liked us on those platforms. And if you are, and get really proactive during the day, tweet about your experiences. We'll be using the hashtag #MedicMentor, so it's very easy and memorable, and we'll all be doing the same. So get involved in the conversation online as well, about maybe things that you've heard about, some of the speakers that you've come across. And it's great because you'll also be able to see messages from students who are at National Weekend at other venues with other speakers and different mentors. So yeah, get really active online as well. So, I mean, that's pretty much everything that I can think of. I'm just going to have a look to see whether we have any questions, but I don't think we do. I'll just wait to see if we've got any questions. Okay, I think it looks like we're good. So please keep an eye on your emails this week. They will be, the admin team will be sending out more details once they've done the IT testing of the rooms that we'll be using. So, please keep an eye on your emails. And if you do have any questions, feel free to drop admin an email, and they'll be sure to get back in touch with you. Just to remind you, the email address is admin@medicmentor.org. So I really look forward to seeing you all in Scotland and in London. And for everyone else, I wish you a fantastic National Healthcare Weekend experience. I'm sure you're going to find it really, really useful. Take care. Bye.